Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue talking about my current project of coding the combat system for a viewer's game. In particular, I'd like to talk more about the process for the player character giving orders to companions and for determining whether the companions obey those orders. So as you can see, I've set up a combat. It's the player character's turn. One of the options is to give an order. And if we click on that, then we see the single companion that we have. We have 4 orders: charge, cover me, fall back, or regroup. I can also return if I want to do something else instead, but in this case I do want to give an order. So let's choose this one, cover me, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have, first of all, the player character rolls a 5 and a 3 and adds their sexy score of 0. Well, that's right, because this player character is a scoundrel and does have poor or 0 for sexy. Sexy is really used as sort of general charisma, and that's why it's relevant to whether the order gets obeyed. So they roll a 5 and a 3 plus their sexy score of 0 for a total of 8. That is a success, and that makes sense. 7 is the threshold for a success. 7, 8, or 9 are normal successes, and then 10 or more is a long success. A success gives a bonus of +1, and so what we add is the roll bonus, which is 1, plus the companion's trust score, which is 2, plus the companion's smart score. Now, the reason for the companion's smart score is that each of the orders is associated with a particular attribute. So charge is associated with strong. Strong characters are more likely to obey the order to charge, and weak characters with a low strong attribute, are less likely to obey the order to charge, which makes sense. And the other 3 orders are associated with the other three attributes. So we add that roll bonus, the trust score, that makes 3, plus the companion's smart score, not the player character, but the companion's smart score. We total them up, and if it is 3 or more, the companion will obey the order, and if it's 2 or less, they won't. So in this case, we've got a 4, and so they will indeed obey the order. So that's what the code does. Let's have a look at how it does it. So I'll get into the program. This is all in order 2, and there isn't any new, or there aren't any new variables this time. So let's get into that and zoom in a little. Okay. So we've already noted that Z is which companion has been given the order, and Y is which order. And once again, I should have changed that colon to a full stop, which I haven't done. Sorry about that. Anyway, we set given order equal to 0 because the player character can only give 1 order per turn or round of combat. Although it doesn't count as an action, it's not going to reduce their $actions attribute, but it is once per turn or per round. We then roll 2 dice, and or simulate rolling 2 dice with random bracket 1, 6 end bracket. We store that in X and W, and then we set Z2 equal to X plus W plus ATT underscore PER $PER4. Well, this $ATT PER $PER4 is just the player character's sexy score. So we look up $PER, which is the persona that the player character is using. Persona is the equivalent of character class in this game, and slot 4 of the ATT underscore PER array, which stands for attributes by persona. slot 0 is of each persona is the name of that persona, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 are the different attributes, and 4 is the sexy score. So we add that up, and we add that up in this line, and then we tell the player that that's what we've done, give them the working out on this line here. Then we have a branching based on whether we've got a long failure, a success, or a long success. So once again, if it's less than 4, that's a long failure. Less than 7, that's a failure. Less than 10 is a success. So 3 or less is a long failure. 4, 5, or 6 is a failure. 7, 8, or 9 is a success. And then 10 or more is a long success. And based on that, we get -1, 0, +1, or +2 to the calculation. And we put that in Z2. We've already used Z2 for this total, but we don't need the total once we have this this final result of the rolling part of what we're doing. So we might as well just use the same attribute. We could have used another one, Y2 instead, but it's easier to use as few temporary attributes as possible. I find it gets less confusing. So if you've got one that's is redundant, you might as well put something else in it once it is redundant. Okay, so then we do this calculation. The calculation is explained down here. We set y2 equals z2, which is this -1, 0, 1, or 2, plus the zth slot of the trust array. And Z is which companion is being given the order, so it's just their trust, plus this thing here. And again, this is a little bit complicated looking, but it's only because we've got this other calculation sort of nested inside this one. So let's have a look at this. We have com Z1. Well, that's just companion Z's persona, companion Z's character class. So let's say that's 2, for example. Then we would have ATTPR, that number, Y. So the first number here is what persona the target companion is. And then $Y is the order, because the orders are each associated with an attribute, and they're listed in the order of the attributes. So let's look at initialize to see what I mean by that. Here are the names of the attributes. Oops. Let's do that again. Control X. And let's go down to order, the order name array, which gives the names of the orders. And there it is. Oops. So if we compare these, charge is associated with strong, cover me is associated with smart, fall back is associated with sneaky, and regroup is associated with sexy. And you can sort of see how that makes sense. Like a big, strong guy would be more likely to want to charge in. Cover me, well, that's more like a sort of smart thing to do. Fall back, well, that's kind of sneaky. And then regroup, I guess, because it's bunching up. It's like gather around me. People are going to want to do that if the person is kind of charismatic, is I guess the idea. Although, because actually the regroup one is probably the one that fits the theme slightly less, because characters are going to want to regroup if they have a high sexy score, not if the player character has a high sexy score. So I guess the idea is that characters that are charismatic are also more social, so they're going to want to do things that involve sort of hanging around more people, I guess. The other three, it's you can sort of see that the connection is pretty straightforward. That one's, probably less so. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. So we have a total, and then we just print what we've just done. Essentially, we say the roll bonus of -1 or 2 or whatever it is, plus companion 2's trust score of whatever that is, plus their, and then we have the attribute name. So let's say their strong score of 2 or whatever it might be, gives a total of Y2. And then if Y2 is over or equal to 3, we give the message that they obey the order. And if not, if it's 2 or less, we give the message that they don't obey the order. And either way, we have a couple of line breaks after that. So that's how that works. The character gives their order. It will either be obeyed or not obeyed. But of course, at the moment, we're just giving a message. But of course, we need to code. First of all, we need to record the fact that a particular companion is operating under a particular order, because this is a condition that's going to persist for the rest of the combat unless another order sort of supersedes it. And we also need to code the behavior of the companions being based on an order if they have indeed received an order. Because at the moment, it isn't. At the moment, a companion just picks an attack. But basically, they do the same thing as the enemy. They pick an attack, and then if they can make that attack, they do. And if they can't make that attack, they move. And whether they move forward or back depends on their hit points and random chance. But we want that behavior to only happen if they haven't received any orders. If they have received orders, they need to do specific things. Someone whose order is charge needs to use a hand-to-hand attack if they can, and if not, they need to move closer to an enemy, and so on. And that is what we will be doing in videos to come, of course. But for now, I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.